What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 5 of the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
And this is a Monday episode, so that means it's just Pat and I here. So we're starting your week off right with us. So Monday episodes are Pat and I. Thursday episodes, we bring in a guest. So what are we talking about today, Pat?
Fundamentals of a relationship. You know, we've been on that kind of relationship string the last few episodes and the importance of relationships. And, you know, I actually had a really good talk, started off as a divorce counselor and now a therapist. I think having a therapist and somebody that you see regularly is very important. But part of that conversation was the fundamentals of a relationship and things to look at and things that are important. And we're just going to dive into it, whether it's a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, or just a friend's relationship. And just all these things correlate to that relationship. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16 different things on this list. Obviously we don't have to dive into all of them, but you know, there's a lot of good things on here that you don't even really think about. Mm-hmm. And whether it's on the friend side or the romantic relationship side, there's just a lot of things on here that are great. And hopefully this is something that people can resonate with and kind of look at their relationships or how they approach relationships moving forward in a better way.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right. So let's just roll through these words that are on here. So the fundamentals of a good relationship: trust, respect, honesty, tolerance, a healthy dependency, fidelity/loyalty, ethics and morals, affection, intimacy, quality time, rapport, morale, communication skills, problem-solving skills, division of labor, and enhancing each other's dreams. Now, obviously, in a friendship or a business relationship, there's a few things that, you know, aren't going to be on there, like intimacy.
We're not very intimate, are we, Pat?
You know, I mean, we have vulnerable conversations, and again, that's just how do you define intimacy? Like, that is a form of intimacy, not a romantic intimacy, but an intimacy between friends. You know, and obviously division of labor. I mean, you know, obviously we got to decide who's going to
post the reels,
right?
You
who
know,
post the reels. And obviously, you and the guests typically carry the podcast. I'm just there for fun.
No. I lean on you.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like the top 3: trust, respect, and honesty. I mean, how much more important are those 3 things than anything? I mean, I know for me in a relationship, like if I can't trust you, there's no point in even trying to have a relationship.
For sure. I think trust and honesty, like, you know, kind of go together, really. I mean, you know, it's like almost the same thing in my head. I mean, I know they're different, but I mean, I feel like you can't have one without the other.
Oh, 100%. And then respect, like you're understanding the things that your friend or your partner are going through and being able to be there for that person and, you know, guide them through that if they need that help, but just being understanding, valuing their time, valuing their opinions and their words. And, you know, Connor talked about it, their criticisms, you know, all of that stuff kind of comes into that respect aspect of things. And, you know, just the way you go about your life and the way you are with Gina and Calvin and your work ethic. I mean, those are all things that I respect about you, the way you go about your life. And it's great. And I think that's why, you know, this works. This works. And, you know, again, trust.
Right.
Your trust for me, my trust for you.
Right. Oh, I mean, I respect you. I mean, I was actually thinking about this last night. I don't know why. I was like sitting there doing dishes, and I was like, Pat's kind of like the big brother I never had. You know, that's kind of like the vibe I always feel like I get. You know, like we've worked together a ton. You know, you're a couple of years older than me. I feel like you're a couple of years ahead of me, and like the fatherhood aspect of things. I mean, you always have great advice anytime I, you know, need anything. Financial advice, I've gone to you for that before in the past. Like, I mean, you know, you helped me. You know, you were the lender that I used to buy this house. Yeah, so I mean, I respect you in a ton of ways too. So
I
goes back at you.
Greatly appreciate that, and yeah, I mean, when you have that for somebody, it just, the biggest thing is be yourself. Like, you know, there's certain people where you're like kind of hesitant do I really want to show that full like side of me?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like with you, I think we're one and the same in terms of how we are, the way we act, the way we communicate, and the way we go about life. So it just makes it easier. And I'm happy to be your big brother.
Oh, thanks, man.
So, but yeah. And then, you know, obviously, like we said, trust and honesty are one and the same. The next one, tolerance. You know, there's a couple different ways we can go down this. Like we do tolerate each other, obviously, like, you know, but you know, is it tolerance for
what exactly is the definition of tolerance? I'd love to know that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
the act of being tolerant.
Oh, let's Google that. I'm
Google.
I'm Jamie. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you our Jamie or what?
Jamie?
Hey, Murph, pull that up.
Tolerance. Oh, that's drug tolerance. All right, not my tolerance. I don't know. The ability or willingness to tolerate something. Okay, so I wasn't just being a smartass. I was right.
You're right.
Come on, there's got to be a.
In particular, the existence of opinions or behavior that one does not necessarily agree with.
Oh,
okay.
Well, I feel like that
or
can apply to a.
Me and weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I was thinking is like the things that may bother you about somebody.
Yeah.
That things that they may do or say or the way they act. But your love for them allows you to look past the bad things. It allows you to tolerate what it is. Maybe we should Google what tolerate means, because you know, tolerance is the verb of tolerant. So
right. I mean, I can think of, you know, I'm just like sitting here trying to think of like things that like Gina does, for instance, that I tolerate.
To be tolerant,
you know? It's like I don't know if I should say this on the podcast, but I can think of one.
Gina,
that I think
earmuffs.
Yeah, I was thinking of one that, you know, I know I always give her shit for, but I know I think at this point she does it just to irritate me because she know it'll piss me off. But like anytime she's like opening something, like she doesn't open it up and like say it's a, you know, one of those Ziploc bags and it's got the tab that you rip off the top, right? She never rips the thing all the way off. She rips it and just like half of it hangs there.
And it's just
and it's just like dangling. And it just irritates me. And she knows it irritates me. And it's just one of those things that, you know, I tolerate.
Right.
My OCD is going crazy just hearing about this.
Yeah, she'll like leave the fucking little flappy on there.
Gina, what the fuck, man?
Gina,
I'm just kidding.
Gina, please
don't
kill
me. You're downstairs right now.
Please rip off the flappies for Murph's OCD.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, I'm not in a relationship or have anybody like that. So my tolerance, kids, for example.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They don't always listen, you know, or they don't always do what you ask them to do, or if they do it wrong. And that's fine. They're learning. But again, it's having a tolerance for their understanding might not be, or their ability to do something where to my ability or the way that I want them to, you know? So, I've got obviously there's a lot of tolerance there for my children, for work, you know, the Federal Reserve, you know, what? Hey, you know, really want to get into this?
Yeah, we can really get into that. Let's open a can of worms.
I've got some tolerance for the Federal Reserve. You know, they do a lot of things good and bad. So, you know, we got to have a little bit of tolerance for that. And, you know, or just the way rules and guidelines change. Having a tolerance for being able to know and have an understanding of why they're changing it. So be able to explain it and to understand it. The next one, healthy dependency.
Huh.
So I don't want to always talk about the divorce or the things that between my ex-wife and I, you know, I don't always like that, but that was the thing. Like there was no dependency on each other. We were both so independent that we really didn't ever have any, it was an unhealthy dependency because she could do her own stuff. I could do my own stuff. We never had that, like that, just any dependency on each other. We are a solid team, basically in harmony of a good, healthy dependency on each other, where it's not like, all right, I can't survive without you. It's you know what, we can come back to each other and be there to, console each other in the end, or lean on one another, or something like that. If one's having a bad day, guess what? You always hear these, it's never 50-50. Some days it's going to be 70-30. Some days it's going to be 100-0 carry. And I think that kind of weighs into that healthy dependency where, like, you know what? I'm not always having to be 100. So
no, that's a lot on dependency, man. I like that. That's perfect.
Well, that's the thing that's my therapist was saying, like, that's one of the tougher parts of a healthy relationship is that dependency.
Right.
Because
I totally agree with everything you said. I'm just sitting here trying to think, like, I mean, I know there's definitely things that Gina and I, like, there's definitely things that she depends on me for, and there's a lot of stuff I definitely depend on her for. But I mean, I've always think that, I mean, we've been together for like 13 years. I feel like it's been pretty healthy. I mean, there was like you said, there's definitely times where I've had to pick up the slack, and then there's definitely times she's picked up my slack for sure.
Right.
Man, like probably a lot more of her picking up my slack than anything. Yeah.
Well, it'd be interesting to, maybe we should bring her on for one of these episodes.
Hey, Gina.
Yeah, I mean,
but no, that would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And have her put her 2 cents in on these things, and that would be cool too. Is like, obviously we're 2 guys, and we've got our perspectives on it, and it would be interesting to get a female's perspective on it, and have maybe that's one of those routes that we go in one of our next episodes or one of our next guests.
Yeah,
is have a female come on and
for sure, definitely. I've got some females on my list for sure.
I think I've got some too as well. Yeah. So.
I know it says manhood on the show, but it doesn't necessarily mean.
But bring in a fun, different perspective.
Different vibe, for sure.
Yeah, just a lot of male testosterone. And
lots of smelly dudes in here.
All right, next one. Obviously, this isn't so much in term, like, so that's why they have it. It's fidelity / loyalty. Obviously, in a friendship, fidelity isn't a thing.
Right.
But loyalty is. Murph? Loyalty or being loyal. What's the definition on that one? What you got?
I was going to say, when we give my definition,
your definition. Yeah, let's hear it. Let's get both. Both yours. What's your definition of it?
So when I think of the act of being loyal to someone, to me, it is a faithfulness to a concept, person, or idea that tests your merits even in times of doubt.
Yeah, faithfulness. That's a great way of putting it. Yes. You're faithful to that person. Whether
faithful is a great way to put it, I think.
All right, and so then the basic definition is the quality of being loyal.
Right.
Fuck that. Like, come on, give us something good.
Right.
But a strong feeling of support or allegiance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allegiance.
That's a great word. Yeah.
Another great word to use for it.
Because when you look at the operative phrase like pledge of allegiance, what are you doing? You're saying I am loyal
to the country
right here.
Right.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why the Pledge of Allegiance. I guess I just never put that together. I guess I don't know. I mean, it makes complete sense now. Yeah. I don't know. I've just always just pledge of. It's like almost one of those things that you just recite just because you know it. And it's like you saying a phone number that you know. You just know the words and you just start saying it.
And that's a problem.
You don't really think of it. Yeah, you don't think about it.
You don't.
You don't think about the words that you're saying.
I'm about to go off.
Do it.
Murph. But God, I can't wait to have a camera on me soon. The thing about that little statement you just said, though, is very, very telling, though, because when we did the Pledge of Allegiance when we were all in grade school, it was one of those things that it started off with every morning. Mm-hmm. And you didn't think anything of it because we were taught what to think, not how to think, and not just do it to be conditioned to say something like a phone number. I also know the friggin' number to Tommy Two-Tone. I'm not loyal to him, 8675309.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds bad saying that, but it's true, though. I mean, you just start saying the words, and I guess I can't think about the last time that I've said the Pledge of Allegiance that I've, just thought about the words that are being said. And it's bad, it's bad that I'm admitting that now that I'm saying it out loud, but, true.
But that allows you to fix that with you and your kids.
Next time I'm going to be saying that. I'm going to, next time I say it, and now that we're talking about it, I'm definitely going to be thinking about it.
Well, and it's the same thing that goes back to to the national anthem. I mean, back when I was playing, that song I've probably heard more times in my life.
Oh yeah,
than any other song. The national anthem.
The ball game.
Yeah, national anthem is played before every single game, and I think one of the coolest things that they did when I was with the Reds and one of the minor league teams that I was with, we had some military come out to the field and explain the meaning of the national anthem and the American flag to them and what that represented to them, to us. And I thought that was so cool because I've got a soft spot in my heart for veterans in our military. And these older gentlemen came out and we sat there on the field and they talked to us for about 30 minutes about all this. But the biggest thing was like the American flag to our military is like, that is a piece of home. Like that is the actual physical home when they're overseas. And it's so important to them. And that's why, like, I had a whole newfound respect for the national anthem at this point, because you sit there and in the minor leagues, you bet a lot. And one of those bets was, this is going to be kind of funny, but how long the national anthem would run for, because everybody sings it so differently. And that's what's so beautiful about the song is like, there's so many different renditions of it. But I had a whole newfound respect for it. And this was in 2012. I encourage anybody to talk to a veteran and ask them what the American flag and the national anthem mean to them. And it's pretty powerful. I'm tearing up thinking about it, because it was a very emotional 30-minute conversation that we had with these guys, and these guys that fought and gave so much for our country. It was just something that I'll never forget. Every time I hear the national anthem, I am sure as shit taking my hat off, hand on my heart. Just like in anything in a relationship, you got to have that loyalty to one another. And on the flip side of that is the fidelity, which again,
pretty important in a relationship.
On a romantic relationship, definitely. You can't. Cheating and philandering and all that stuff is, that doesn't make for a healthy relationship. It eliminates the trust.
Well, yeah, I feel like you're seeing a lot of that like now on the internet with like the open relationships and like all that stuff, and it's just I just can't imagine where that's. I just can't imagine any that working out long term for anybody
at all.
It's just I feel like I've seen more and more of that like on Instagram and shit lately.
Yeah, like the swingers and it's just great.
I know. Like I remember someone recently told me like someone I know from high school, and like him and his wife are swingers now, and it's like, whoa, how did that happen?
Right? Like I mean, I like the sexual side. Like I get it. Like obviously, sex is great, but I don't know about for you guys, but for me, like.
No, so let's talk about what do you love?
All right. So, I mean, I've like, and for me, for anything sexual, like there has to be emotion tied to it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like I can't just, one night stands. Like,
it gets old.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I've never had a one night stand. Like,
you're not missing anything.
No, and that's the thing is like everyone that I have slept with, even through pro ball and all those things, like. I never just had one night stands. Like I would always like, if I slept with somebody, it was because I had an emotional connection to them. And I think that emotional connection just brings such a different level and pleasure.
Sure.
To the whole thing. So, it kind of leads into the next one, like affection. Affection is one of these key words. And I kind of interchange affection with emotion.
Yeah, but I would feel there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of different ways that you can show affection.
Oh, absolutely.
It's obviously not just physical.
No, absolutely. 100%.
Readily feeling or showing fondness.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and basically just showing someone that you like them.
One of my favorites, ethics, morals, and values. It's ultimately what I want my boys to learn from me is the golden rule is number one. I try to be kind to everyone. I try to understand principles. You don't quit.
Yeah.
You never quit. It's actually a conversation that I'm about to have with a player on my team. When you commit to something, you see it all the way through, and you don't quit. And no matter how much you hate it, no matter how much you're not into it, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I want them to give their heart and their all and everything, no matter whether they want to be there or they don't want to be there. I want them to do that. And that's how, in the relationships that I'm in, I want those people to have those same beliefs and principles and morals that I have. Maybe not so much beliefs. Everybody has different beliefs, but essentially the same ethics and morals and
Right.
principles.
Just things you stand on.
Yeah,
stand
that's
behind,
right.
you know?
Exactly. What are some of yours?
Whew, man, I was just thinking while you're talking there. So I'm like, I would say, one of the things that, man, it sounds basic and simple, but like, man, I'm always nice to people
Yeah.
until there's a reason for them not to be,
Right.
unless they give me a reason not to be nice to them. And that's something I definitely, want to instill in Calvin. Basically, I mean, I can reiterate pretty much everything you said there.
Yeah.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. That's a huge, motto I live by. I do a lot of things, and I try to do them as to the best of my ability at all times, because there's, I mean, even, like loading the dishwasher,
Right.
if I'm catching myself say it a lot, aren't I? I'm
catching you
when
more.
If you're playing the drinking
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
Oh shit. Okay, Pat, take 5 drinks.
Is that only 5? That's it.
It's 5 that I've caught. But then I went back and re-edited an episode that I said you only had 4, and within 4 minutes there were more than 4.
Damn it.
We were making progress, people.
Well,
We were making progress.
where was I?
we were at
Yeah.
Yeah,
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
You're-
Got to be a hard worker. I think
Absolutely.
that's just like a prerequisite. Like there's no
See, for me, that's just a given.
the given.
Like,
I
I don't even-
have very little tolerance for laziness and people that. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine recently, and he was kind of talking about how he wanted to start getting in the gym, and like this 2024 is gonna be the year, and I'm like, all right, man. Well, when are you going?
Yeah.
When are we going next week? Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's pick a time.
Yeah.
Tell me what gym we're going to. I'll show up. I'll work out with you. And I just kind of feel like I'm getting maybe I got to look at I'm like,
Hey,
Oh.
if you're watching this, get to the fucking gym.
you know who I'm talking to.
You know who he's talking
Uh,
about. Go to the fucking gym. Get to the
I feel
fucking
like he
gym.
just wasn't giving me the.
Right.
I was like giving him all the opportunities.
Right.
Like, yeah, show up, man. Let's do it. We don't have to do anything crazy. And yeah, so
Hard, like for me. So
what, Mert?
It's just one of those times where I miss coaching because I would have just been like, I would have not conducted myself as politely. I'm like, oh, I feel like being a little bitch today. All right, cool.
Yeah,
And just walk off.
He's one of my buddies, and I'm not trying to make him feel shitty, but I'm just like,
I
come
mean,
on,
is
let's
not
do it.
making him feel shitty helping him?
True. I should be a little bit more stern.
we talked
You're
about that. The criticism, being a true friend.
Yeah, no, that's true. I could be better about that.
You know what?
I think there's one thing about me. Sometimes I do have a hard time telling people shit that they need to hear.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to
I'm a pleaser. Like
I-
if there's one thing about me, I spent a
but
decade serving people.
That's salespeople,
Right.
That's sales
Yeah,
in general,
true.
So, but ultimately, I don't think you'd have an issue telling me if I was. I don't.
No.
But I think
I guess it's different with real estate
Like, you
stuff.
and I
Real
can-
estate stuff, I feel like I'm like,
not even the real estate stuff, but like if you're like, Pat, you're getting fucking lazy, I think you could tell it to me, and I'm not going to get upset about it.
Yeah.
There's certain people
sure,
that would get upset. You say it to them in a specific way, and you got a person, but
read the mood.
yeah, I mean that's exactly what we talked about a couple episodes ago. So,
I
but
have no problem telling people to fuck off.
I know.
right, we yeah.
You can defer to me. I'll be your attorney in this matter.
Yeah. But yeah, I know the hard work. Now there's times where I'll get lazy. And it happens. And I'll you know what? I'll be the first one to admit it. If I'm getting lazy, you're right. I'm being fucking lazy. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I'm going to be lazy today. But you better believe that's only going to last for that night.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get
24
back up.
hours.
Yeah.
I wake up tomorrow. I make it up tomorrow.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm ruthless with myself. I punish myself
Yeah.
when I get into the gym. All right, well, you didn't work out yesterday, so we got to do this instead. Or I'm
Burpees.
burpee. Yeah, a lot of times it's burpees.
Fucking
But or like, all right, I'm gonna, I'm not leaving open mat tonight until I roll 10 rounds. I got to roll 10 rounds. Something like ridiculous like that. Maybe if I was only gonna go there and roll 6 or 8, I'm rolling 10. That's something I'm counting. I'm paying attention to. Yeah. So I just if I'm a bitch one day, I make it up the next.
But no, like it didn't matter what I was going to do, like where I ended up. Like I knew that because of how hard I worked and the determination and the effort that I was going to put forward, no matter what I did, I was going to be successful. That's just the mindset that I always had. And I think that's how both of us are, and why we think this is going to be successful and why it's going to be successful, because we have that mindset. No matter what we do or what we set out to do, we're going to be successful in that endeavor because of our work ethic. So
Yeah.
what are
I
some,
think when it all changed for me, because like I know that when I grew up, I was like very different than I am now.
yeah,
You can go back and talk to any of my buddies that I grew up with, and I think things have changed over the last like 10 years for sure. But like really, when I hit high school is when things changed for sure for me. I was never an athlete growing up. I mean, I played soccer. I played all the CYC sports, which CYC, for people that aren't listening that don't know, what is it? Catholic Youth something. It's like there's a shit ton of Catholic schools. Conference. Yep, that's what it is. There's a shit ton of Catholic grade schools here in St. Louis, and so they had this big conference of everybody played sports against each other. So I played all the CYC sports. I played soccer. I played baseball. I played basketball for like 1 year. I mean, if I'm really bad at one sport, it's basketball.
Shit.
Yeah, dude, I think I made.
I'm with you.
Let's play.
We're not going to start a basketball team.
Bro,
You
no.
kick my ass in jiu-jitsu.
No.
I'll kick your ass in basketball.
Dude. I'm not very cool. I mean, I was decent at hockey, but I'm not good at ball sports. I'm not good at any ball.
I mean,
sport.
bro. I mean, you and
I'm good at moving human beings. Like I played line. I was an offensive lineman, outside linebacker in football, and then I wrestled.
You just
Those are
gotta
the
learn
only sports
handles,
I was ever
bro.
good.
You can move humans out from in front of you, make them break the ankles, another way break their ankles. You know what I mean? You can do this.
I'm not that quick.
Point guard game. You ain't gotta be quick. You gotta be crafty. You know what?
Yeah. But anyway, I was never an athlete growing up. And then I started playing football in my freshman year. And it was like, it was pretty intense starting off because like at St. Mary's, we had these summer workouts and you showed up, I think it was Monday through Thursday. And you were there from 8 a.m. to noon those days. And we did like an hour of lifting weights, an hour of like plyometrics, an hour of like football drills, and then like an hour of like watching film and like studying. And it was like the camp getting ready. And we did that pretty much every summer. I think that was the schedule. It might have only been 3 hours, but it was either 3 or 4. And I did that every year. And but I remember doing that freshman year, and it like everything changed. I started doing that. I saw like what actually was playing a sport that I kind of liked.
Yeah.
And I, that was when I started lifting weights. I kind of fell in love with that and just the guys.
Right.
I became friends with the guys there, and I really just started liking the sport. And then we had some really good coaches that I learned a ton from. They made us read books, and that's like I feel like when I really started like looking into that like kind of self-development kind of stuff. But then you're a high school kid. You're not really.
Right.
I'm just waiting. At the time I was bussing tables and I wasn't like really focused on like a career. I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. I always said I wanted to be a fireman. Like growing up, that's what I always said.
Me too.
People really?
Yeah.
Really? Damn. I always said I wanted to be a fireman. But then the reason, I'll be honest, I found out what firefighters made, and I wanted to make more money.
Yeah.
And that's really what it boiled down to. Sounds probably bad saying that, but I just wanted to make more money than that. And then obviously we've talked before how I got into real estate, but then after college, I got really fat my freshman year. So I stopped working out altogether.
Me too.
I did the whole freshman 30 probably. I remember it was second semester sophomore year second semester sophomore year. I remember looking at, this is like after I lived in the frat house. I was like 200 pounds. And for those listening, I'm like $170 right now ish, maybe like 65. I've been doing this carnivore diet for 5 days.
How's it going?
Dude, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Other than the explosive diarrhea, it's great.
Retweet, dude. But I bet the lack of energy crashes is
No,
nuts.
100%. No, that's great.
Your
Like
joints feel better?
real.
What?
Your joints feel better?
Yes. That's one thing I've noticed so far.
Less carbs means less inflammation.
That's when I like kind of got back. I got back into the gym second semester sophomore year and started working out like 4 or 5 days a week again, just like lifting weights.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for, fucking 5 years straight. But I was like pretty dedicated to it, like consistent the whole time. And then I found jujitsu, and that's when everything changed.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, I stopped. I used to smoke cigarettes. Like I used to Yeah, dude.
Marlboro Reds. Were you a cowboy killer?
In high school, that's what I smoked, and then I switched to lights
There
in
is no-
college. Yeah, Marlboro Lights. Turkish Royals back in the day.
Turkish Royals were fine,
Yeah.
but I hate saying that actually out loud. But
Oh,
as
dude,
far
it's
as
been-
cigarettes,
I was never a smoker.
Reds.
I dipped. I stopped when Connor was born, and then started back up again.
when you had to, you
I was gonna
started
say we're back on the
Yeah,
train,
yeah.
baby.
Well, I stopped. I used these things called grinds, and they were basically pouches, like normal tobacco pouches, but instead of having tobacco, they were coffee.
So
So
give me a
then
little buzz.
Well, then now I got to a point where I was addicted to caffeine and coffee, and I'm having so much anxiety because I'm throwing them in like a normal dip. So like I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's I just eat dinner.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you need it after a meal. I remember,
The best dip is always after a meal.
Yeah.
So I always would throw one in, and after dinner I would eat, and it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night,
Yeah, you're-
and I'm throwing in 3 pouches of coffee grinds, which is like
Like
3 cups of coffee, and I'm like wired all night.
I can't fucking
And my
sleep.
heart's like I'm having heart palpitate, and like the greatest thing I could have done was dip again.
Yeah. I had to get off the. It's
I,
hilarious.
I've used pouches once, and listeners, look, I've done a lot of drugs, but we were at an event for First Form, and I hadn't really eaten in like 3 hours. All I had in my system was coffee, and Aaron Summers gave me like a long pouch. Holy fuck!
Oh,
I
yeah?
did not feel okay.
No.
No,
Oh wow.
dude, me in the bathroom got real
Dude.
close for a little while there.
Dude, that's the last time I think I tried it. I mean, I did it a little bit in college.
So parents, if you ever want your kids not to dip,
Give it to him young.
give it to them young.
Oh,
They're gonna throw that shit up, and they'll never do it again.
I remember a guy.
It's the
I can think of
worst.
so many people. Oh man, I'm not gonna get into some fraternity stories because I could go on there. Oh, we can talk off air.
Cigs
We
in
can
the
do
house.
we
Yeah.
can do a whole nother episode on that because I know
Yeah.
you got things you want to ask, stories you want to ask me. or want
Oh,
me to
bro,
bring
you
up.
got some good stories. We'll save those for another episode. But yeah, some of his pro ball stories are fucking hilarious. But oh man, yeah, I used to dip a little bit, but I was never really into that. But yeah, I used to smoke cigs. Like, I was never like, I mean, I would get to a point where I was going through, 2 packs a week ish, something like that.
Damn.
Which is not like a ton, but I mean, maybe it is a ton. I don't know.
It's not.
Well, it's not a ton. It was always kind of centered around drinking. I mean, but I would smoke cigs sober, you know. But it was something about being in the car,
Okay.
Like I always used to like smoking.
My favorite dips in pro ball were like as soon as we got on a bus.
Yeah, nice
like,
long
doesn't
drive.
matter what time it was. It could have been at 1 o'clock in the morning or 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Like just sitting down on the bus, and whether you're crammed next to somebody or you've been at that team long enough that you get your own seats.
Oh yeah, you stretch out.
Yeah, you get to relax. The first thing I did as soon as I sat down was throwing a dip. Oh yeah,
Chaw.
yeah. It was, and you just sit back and you just.
Oh man, I was in my
ready for
fraternity.
this
Everybody
long
would
ass
dip.
fucking bus ride.
Yeah, I can't tell how many dip spitters I've kicked over, knocked over, almost drank. Like
I've drank a few.
I have as well. Those brown beer bottles will get you. Let me tell you, those
or,
brown beer
or,
bottles.
or a Coke or Dr Pepper bottle.
Oh yeah, yep, that'll get you too.
Sorry to all the ex girlfriends that have ever drank a bottle of my dip spit. It happens. Yeah, it's gross. It's the entire baseball team. Like that's like
What always
I don't know.
irritated
I don't know
me-
when that became a thing. I would love to know the history of when baseball and chewing tobacco became a fucking thing.
Yeah,
But like they're trying to put an end to it.
really? How?
They have these things in the minor leagues called the dip police. Oh yeah, we would. So, I don't know, rat you motherfuckers out right now.
Get them.
Yeah. So hey, everybody knows when the dip police are going to be there, and like they can't go through your shit. Just don't be a fucking dumbass. Don't leave your dip out where people can see it. Hide it. And when you know the dip police are going to be there,
Do they have like an
don't
actual badge?
fucking
Or
dip. Like, but here's the thing. Though,
show
is
up on
like-
bicycles?
But this is what's fucking crazy is they can flag you for anything that they think is dip. So like I could throw in a massive wad of Big League Chew and it looks like you laugh.
No, I
but
don't.
these fucking fines aren't cheap.
Really?
Yo, it was a fucking month's worth of salary. It was like your month's pay. It was $1,100. You're just hoping but here's the thing. It's a one-time charge to the entire team. So you're like, God, I hope somebody else got caught. I really hope somebody else got caught.
So because you don't want to be
because
the only guy.
it's a fine. It's not even a fine to the team. It's a fine to the manager. The manager gets fined $1,100. Obviously, your manager is not paying a fine for someone else. So whoever got busted, you're paying the $1,100.
Well, I get why you want more people to get.
So
So
you
split up
so
the
you split
cost.
up the $1,100. Yeah.
10 people get caught. It's $110.
Yeah, exactly. So, you hope more guys get caught, so you're breaking up that cost. But if you're the only guy that gets caught, like if you're in short season A-ball back when I played, that's your whole month's income. There's no payment plans in minor league baseball. It's like you pay that shit in full unless you find somebody that's got that can spot you the money and you promise to pay them back over time. But yeah, I mean, luckily I never got caught. Luckily we knew when they were going to be there, but that's how they're trying to stop that in the game. Obviously it doesn't work.
I thought this was America.
Right. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's no union in minor league baseball. You're just fucking stuck. You got to do what they tell you to do.
I really want some Big League Chew, though.
That does sound good, doesn't
Thanks,
it?
man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Like the first 5 chews are
Yeah,
so fucking
so good.
good.
It's delicious.
I just want 5 chews.
It
of
never
something.
gets old.
I just 5 chews of Big League Chew, and then I'll move on to
I
the.
just love
to-
I love how
Yeah.
you pull out the shredded,
Oh yeah.
I'll throw in a chaw, too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. So that's how it starts because it's literally that's what
It's conditioning.
chew is.
Yeah.
Like actually chewing tobacco.
Oh
There's a
yeah, for
difference
sure. You can
between
do.
chewing
I remember doing
Redman.
the sweet roll.
Okay, yeah.
Where you mix it with Big League
Yeah,
Chew, right? Isn't that what
yeah.
you call it, a sweet roll?
Oh yeah. So yeah, you get
It's a baseball thing.
Yeah, you buy some Redman.
Yeah.
And same fucking bag as Big
Yeah,
League
it
Chew.
is,
You
yeah.
open it up, you pull it out. It's just like Big League Chew. Put it in your mouth, chew it up, and then you wrap the gum around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the quickest way to get caught. No one really, when I played, no one really chewed tobacco.
Yeah, they
Just
dipped. Yeah.
And
There's a difference.
There is a difference. Chew is very
In a pouch.
leafy.
Yeah.
Leafy comes in a pouch. You throw a wad in your mouth and
I get scared I'm going to get like cancer in my mouth from smoking blunts. That's how like averse I have been to like using tobacco products. Look, I smoked a lot of blunts. I smoked
Have
a
as well.
shit ton of blunts. But like I moved over to paper. It's not like because my lung capacity because of that one thing. I'm like, dude, if I get cancer anywhere in my tongue or my mouth, like it scares the fuck out of me.
they just cut it out. You can still survive without it. It's not like a lung. It's hard to survive without a lung.
I hung.
But no, don't chew tobacco, kids. Morale. Obviously, you want to have good morale.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes into the morals and morale, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing, right?
Communication skill. So this is
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, that word has to come from one of those words comes from the other one.
define it for us.
Morals
Murph.
and morale.
Okay, so the idea of morale is an attitude. If you have good morale, it means you're in a generally good disposition. So morale around the workplace is good. It means typically everyone's working efficiently, effectively, and everyone's happy to be there.
That's a fucking human dictionary.
I was a fucking English major. I
Did not know that about you. I'm glad I'm coming to you for definitions. So give it to us.
But in terms of morals, this is just a personal standard based on, hey, what is moral to you? Your morals is your moral standard in terms of what is good and bad on, it could be an objective level, but in most terms, morals are subjective. If you come from a religious background, you're going to have different morals than likely I would, who was not raised in the church, but I am spiritual. So maybe we find some common ground. Typically, there's an objective language of treat others the way you want to be treated, karma. But one man's trash can really be another man's treasure, and you could just meet some shitty people as well.
This team has a great morale.
Yeah. The morals of a group.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They're together. I mean,
Yeah.
they're definitely.
You could be really good moral people, and you could all be in a really shitty mood, not going in the right direction.
And in a relationship, obviously, you want to keep high morale. Communication skills. We've talked about this on the podcast before. I mean, shit, Connor dove into it for how long? You know,
Yeah.
how we communicate, the tonality that we communicate with, just everything, and how we talk to people. You know, if we were to rank these, obviously trust is number one for me.
Trust and honesty. Yeah.
Trust and honesty are number one. Ethics is probably, and morals is number two. Number three is communication skills. Being able to talk.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and I, and the connection that we had, and the worst thing that we could have done was work together. Our communication skills, and I'll be the first one, I don't talk to her in the right way. I don't talk to her the way I should talk to her as a son. But she does not talk to me in a very respectful way, or she hadn't. We've knocked out, drag out, fought, yelled at each other, like conversation, which is needed.
Sure.
Communication skills. We never communicated that to each other. We just let it fester and build and build and build and build. And we talked to each other in a way, the way we did communicate was awful towards each other. If there were, like, if she and I were sitting here and you guys were just onlookers, you'd be like, what the fuck was that?
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible. She would talk down to me. She was condescending, rude, just, it was bad. And as a son and someone younger and someone who has, at the time, an ego, fuck you. I'm going to talk to you back in the same way that you're talking to me.
Right. I'm gonna match your pace.
And that is how her and I's relationship has been since I was a freshman in high school. But again, communication skills. Her and I had a phone conversation not too long ago for a couple hours where we just laid into each other. It was great. It was the best conversation my mom and I could have ever had. But again, it goes back to knowing who you're talking to and how you're talking to them, that you can have those conversations. Obviously, I'm not going to have that type of conversation with everyone.
Right.
And especially someone that I'm intimate with. The conversation that I am going to have with them is going to be way different than the conversation, the way I just went off on my mom. I make sure that my tonality is good. I make sure the words that I'm saying are correct. I make sure I'm saying them correctly. So that way it's clear.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree there. I mean, just being able to have that open, honest, deep conversation, really get vulnerable sometimes, really tell people, tell your person that, your insecurities, what you're scared of, what, how you're feeling, how you're, if they're doing something that, really, if they're kind of going back on any of these things and it's bothering you, then you need to be able to have a conversation about it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I like what you said about being open and honest. That's the key. Like, I feel like, especially doing a podcast, like, we have to have the communication skills. We have to have that with each other, with Murph, who's producing and fucking kicking ass at this for us.
Right? Oh my God, we couldn't do it without him.
Yeah, there's no way we would have this done without Murph.
Well, I think we'd still be trying to figure out how to upload the first
Yeah.
episode.
We wouldn't even have it recorded.
No, we probably would have hit the wrong button on one of these things.
we would have re-recorded about 10 times by now.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
Fuck the editing part.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Nobody
going to
got
leave
time
that to you forever.
And yeah, I want you all to think about it. I produce like 5 podcasts.
That's what he does, though.
My niche.
Yeah. I sell houses.
Yeah.
Mortgages.
Yeah. Murph does podcasts.
Podcasts.
I produce
Podcasts
porn.
and social media content.
You can't take him from us, though.
No,
Don't do that.
He's mine.
He's ours. If you could see the look on my face, everybody, I'm very uncomfortable.
Actually, it looks really high. So
That's actually facts. Speaking of which, pass me the pen.
problem-solving skills.
Problem solving. Honestly, me and Gina kind of got into it last night about something like this a little bit. It was kind of me being an asshole more than anything.
Kind of.
Yeah, me being an asshole more than anything.
Put the ego aside, buddy.
Yeah, well, there was Cooper's. I'll just tell the whole story. Cooper's electric fence outside our dog Cooper. We have an electric fence around our house. The collar's not worked for the last couple weeks, and so we've been putting them on a lead in the front. And she's been asking me to get that fixed. And I finally reached out to the company. They gave me some instructions on what to do to try to reset it before they sent us a new one. and I sent her the instruction. I screenshotted it, whatever they sent to me, and I sent it to her. And I was like, I'll take care of it later. And this was a couple days ago. And last night I got home after a long day, and it was kind of like the first thing she said to me, like, "Did you do that?" And I just kind of blew up. I was just like, I just had a fucking long day, and that's the first thing you ask me is did I fix the thing? And I definitely didn't handle it well, and it definitely did not start the night off well. And I spent the night, apologizing and shouldn't have. But the reason I was thinking about problem solving there is because that's kind of what I said. I was like, this is a problem. Like you know how to solve it too. Like simple instructions. But I think is kind of one of the next things on there is like division of labor, right?
Yes.
So I was thinking like that's kind of been my division. That anything with the dog has kind of always been my division or my part of. That's been one of my things that I do. She's got her things that she does. I have my things that I do. I take out the trash. I cook the meals. She does a lot of the cleaning, does the laundry. Like we've got our
right.
We've got our things that we
things
do.
that you're good at.
For sure. Like I'm a pretty good cook. I spent a long time, cooking food, and
I mean, you worked in restaurants. Like you've been around it. You've done it in a professional manner.
Yeah.
Working in restaurants takes away all the mystique of cooking.
It does. It does.
Like, because you're like, oh my God, this looks so beautiful. They must put hours of work into it. That took 15 minutes, my man.
It's like, bro, and we put it on it came frozen. We dropped it in a deep fry, the motherfucker.
Remember, oh yeah, because you guys went to Missouri State. Remember Big Whiskies?
Oh, fuck yeah, baby.
I took my pops there, and he was like, that's some of the best fish cod I've ever had. I'm like, Dad, that shit literally came from a freezer.
Yeah. 25-cent wings on Sundays. Yeah.
Trash wings were crap.
Yeah, what was the?
Oh yeah,
mango habanero wings.
Yeah,
I worked at Big Whiskies.
You did?
Hey, did you?
I worked at Big Whiskies, Black Sheep. Yeah.
You guys ever go to Ebbets Field?
Oh fuck yeah!
It was the best place.
It was the grad school special, or was it grad?
Grad school was
it's closing on the 7th.
Yeah.
What?
I was just in Springfield.
Oh, Ebbets. I'm thinking of grad school. Ebbets Fields was awesome too. Yeah.
Ebbets Field is closing on.
It was voted best bar in Springfield back when I was still going to school there.
Yeah.
That makes me.
Wait, you went to Missouri State too, huh?
Yeah, I was a Sigma Nu there.
Go Bears! Hey, I have like
what
a
year
big.
were you? What years were you there?
13 to 18.
Oh, I was way gone.
I've got this big Missouri State Bear like logo we could throw up in here. Yeah.
Leave that in the past.
Leave it in the past.
Leave it in the past.
I started in the fall of 06. Man, you guys are fucking young.
06.
Well, you're what? You're 36, right?
What? I was in middle school.
Yeah. I'm 35.
Yeah.
I'll be 36 this year.
I'm about to be 31. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
me and
I-
her for the same age.
Yeah.
Crazy. We're old. Nothing we can do about it.
Nope. Nothing. Just move on.
Spider-Man.
Get better with age.
Spider-Man 2 came out 20 years ago this year. In case anyone was alive back then and saw it.
Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire's.
Yeah. Alfred Molina's Doc Ock.
Oh, Doc Ock. Yeah. I was trying to remember which one he was.
I'll tell you what, they did a really good job of that last Spider-Man that came out where they
No Way Home.
blended all three together.
That was
That was
really good.
It was
That
crack.
was
That
really
was
good.
awesome.
Because I thought all three of them. All three of the Spider-Mans
Yeah,
are
well,
good. But I would
yeah.
say Tobey Maguire's my Spider-Man. But I
Yeah,
mean, actually,
forever.
I like Tom Holland the best.
It's almost like
honestly.
the James Bond conversation. Who's your James
Toby.
Bond? Or who's your Batman? Because
Yeah.
Batman's of the
Christian
same
Bale.
sense.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale's
Yeah,
my
Christian
Batman.
Bale's my Batman for
Yeah.
sure. Well, he you believe him. Like
Yeah.
we just watched the what's his
I
name?
don't think there's been a better Batman movie since that trilogy.
There will never
Who's
be.
the
Yeah,
most
never
recent
will, but
Batman?
it
He's the guy,
was so good.
Twilight guy, Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson.
Dude,
They said he was
I
great.
watched it and
They said he was great.
okay, he was decent, but like I look at him and I just don't believe it.
Right.
I look at him and I'm like, there's no way this
You're a
fucking
vampire.
skinny little dude is fucking up all these dudes.
You're
You
a
look at
vampire.
Christian Jail, he's like jacked.
Yeah.
I know they're all wearing the suit, but I would
You
I
got
just
to
look
remember
at,
though that and I haven't seen the movie though, but that Robert Pattinson is when he first becomes Batman. Like that's him as a young guy. And
He's
that's
2 years
But
in.
go back
He's-
to the first Christian Bale movie.
But that's not a narrative that they're
I
pulling
love that
from
they
a
do the
narrative
whole
in the
origin.
comic books for him though.
I like that they do the whole. I like how they did the whole origin, and they like, showed that he actually like went to this place and learned how to fight, and it's like, but like after spending a lot of time in martial arts, now you're like, oh, he spent a year there.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm like, I see what guys look like after they're spend a year here at this gym. Like, oh, it must have been a really good gym,
Not
like,
fucking Batman.
right now he's Batman. Like,
But that's one of the things they wanted to get away from with this movie is that most superhero movies, if it's like the first
origin.
entry,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, how do we spam their origin story?
right, yeah,
So-
for sure. No, it was cool. Yeah, I think it like in the first whatever it says he's been doing this. I've been doing this project for 2 years, And you know, like, but you just look at him and I don't know. It was a decent Batman, I think. I mean, I'm sure it looks like there's gonna be. I mean, they alluded that there's gonna be another one.
I'll tell you what, there will be no better Joker than Heath Ledger.
No,
No,
the dude that killed I mean, it literally killed him.
Right.
You know.
And rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've tried. I mean,
Joaquin Phoenix was pretty damn good.
Was good.
It was pretty damn good.
It was good.
Jared Leto sucked.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
that was
Jack
tough.
Nicholson is actually an underrated
Yes.
Joker is Mark Hamill, who is Luke Skywalker.
Really?
He is the voice of the cartoon of the Batman animated series one.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched that growing up. That was
He's
our
the
time.
man, actually the voice of
Batman Begins. Remember that?
Yeah. Actually, Terry McGinnis was voiced by Will Friedle, who is Eric Matthews on Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
And Ron Stoppable on Kim Possible.
Beep, 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 doop.
Disney Channel. That's a fuck. That was my jam. Those concert series they put on Friday nights.
Yeah, shit was awesome. I love
NSYNC,
Channel.
Backstreet Boys.
Me and Gina watched Halloween Town around
Oh,
Halloween
yeah?
this past year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Smart House
Smart
Yeah,
House?
Smart House.
with Katie Seagal.
Under Wraps, I think it was, the Mummy one.
Is that, yeah?
What was the superhero one I always loved? Up and Away.
Up and Away.
That was a good one. This is the best. Johnny Tsunami.
Oh,
Woo!
God. Hell yeah.
The urchins in the The urchins in the God. What else we got?
Enhancing each other's dreams.
Oh, well, that's important for sure. Enhancing each other's dreams. I mean, something me and Gina, we work on for sure. Like, she knows that my dream is to own a lot of, rental properties and have a large real estate portfolio. And, I think sometimes that really stresses her the fuck out. Like right now we're talking about buying this other property and she's, it just stresses her out and gets her upset kind of almost every time. Like, honey, it's what we've talked about, and she's on board for sure, but it's sometimes like she's like I've said, or I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here, but I'm kind of like the balloon and she's kind of like the anchor.
Yeah.
Like she's definitely stopped me from making some stupid decisions before.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm super thankful for. And,
That's the big thing about that, enhancing each other's dreams. Like you want to be supportive, but at the same time, you need that one person who's going to be the dreamer and the one person that's going to be the realistic person.
Right.
This is one of those that could go either way in a romantic relationship, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, however you want to look at it, or just a friendship. Like, I think this, and honestly, I think this is more of a friendship type one is, I want to be there and I want to be the guy that's, fuck yeah, you got this, hoorah, like
Right.
guy in the background. Like, hey, I want to be there. What can I do to help you? Like, I think that's one of the ultimate things you could do as a friend.
Right.
Fucking Connor said it best. He fucking blew up
on that post.
on that post about it. He talked about how you support your friends and how you show up for your friends and your ratio of sharing the people that are closest to you versus who gives a shit big name. Like, everybody shares the big name.
Right.
Well, share your friends, promote your friends, be there for your friends, like enhance their dreams. Like, you're a true friend. You want to have the ultimate and have one of the ultimate fundamentals of a relationship. Support your friends and support their dreams and be there for them, share their shit, pass it on. And, I think that's the ultimate friend relationship. I think I've probably shared every single thing you've posted, and I think vice versa.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, vice versa.
Why not?
Any chance I can give your name, I'm giving your name. And that's above my ex-wife, who is a realtor. Like, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
It's just how it is. People that you're closest with, you want to support the most. And no matter what it is that they're doing, I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader no matter what it is. Like, if you're a close friend of mine and I have that relationship with you, I am going to be your biggest cheerleader no matter what. And I'm going to share your shit. I'm going to like your shit. And I'm not going to ask you for discounts. That's a
big one. Yeah.
That's
Last thing, man, when I was at the barbecue place, man, when you have buddies come in and they like expect a discount. Come on, like, we just started this thing. Like, you can't give food away.
Right.
Like, come on.
right.
Like, support me.
Exactly. And people are going to expect it, but that's what's bad about all this is you shouldn't be expecting this. Like, if it's a true friend, a true person that you care about and you have a relationship with and you are saying that you truly support them, you shouldn't be asking them for a discount. You should be asking them, just give me the bill.
How can I help?
Exactly. Give me the bill and how the hell can I help?
Right.
You know, it's, for me, shit, a good buddy of mine, Cyberg's family.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the Cyberg's asking for fucking discounts.
No.
Give me the fucking bill.
Yeah.
You know,
Bill,
like,
yeah.
you know, like,
Love that
what,
place.
you know, what's my tab? I'm like, you know, I might call him and be like, hey, what kind of discounts can you give me on a bourbon? Like,
Yeah.
You know, that shit's expensive these days, but no, like, it's the people that I care and support about, like, they should never have an issue at like giving me a full price on what they're charging because I'm going to pay it. And I'm probably going to tip on top of it. Like it's frustrating because I've had it happen to me. And here, like on my side of things, I could lose my license as a lender if there's people see trends like, oh, he's giving his friends discounted rates. Like if they look at that and they dive deep into that, I could lose my license for that. And as much as I love you guys as a friend, if you're going to come and ask me for a discount, it's not going to fucking happen.
Right.
And I'm sure it's the same for you when it comes to listing your house.
Listings. I mean, people want.
Are you going to give me a discount? Like,
it's like, what's your fee? You know, what do you do? Yeah, it's a tough one to deal with. You know, I'll have people. They'll want. You know, I tell them what my fee is, and you know, we will go back and forth. But you will see a lot of agents that'll just kind of fold. And I'm not gonna lie. I've taken discounted commissions because they said that, you know, that basically I'm getting the vibe that they're gonna go with the cheapest guy.
Yeah.
And I'd rather take the listing than not take the listing. But there's times where I feel like I need to start being more firm about that. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's just a conversation. Like, it's a conversation that you need to have. Like, this is what you're getting at this percentage, or this is why is your rate so much higher than a bank or a credit union?
Right.
Well, I mean,
this is what we do. We're giving you a service.
Right. You're at this point, like, what's important to you? If all it is cheapest interest rate, like if that's all that's important to you, then I'm not going to be your person. Like that's you know what? Again, it goes back to that abundance mentality. Like, I don't need your business.
That's the beauty of this business.
I want your
business. Choose who we work with.
I want your business. I'm competitive as fuck. And that award back there behind Zach, like, I want to just grow that shit more and more and more.
122 million folks.
Yeah, you know, and fuck, we just saw it this year. Nick and I were ranked number 2 in our entire company for units. We're never going to be volume. We're not going to be up there with, right. We're
West
not in
Coast.
the yeah, exactly. But we were number 2 in the amount of people that we helped. Like, I'm more proud of that than anything. What we did in units this year doesn't even like come close to 122 million in business volume wise.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that we did number 2 in overall units in a market where people were not buying homes, that just goes to show you the value.
This dude's a fucking rock star, ladies and gentlemen.
The value that we're bringing. But no, it's not even like, it's just being able to educate the people and care about the people that we work with. We care about them.
For sure.
And if you can't see that, like, all you can see is dollars and numbers and interest rates and the absolute fucking interest rate when the difference might be $50 a month that you're probably going to refinance in 12 months. So, oh fuck, I paid $600 less in 12 months for some dipshit who caused me stress versus, okay, this was the easiest fucking thing I've done in my life. I haven't had to worry about anything. Pat communicated and told me everything. Zach was on top of things. Zach walked me through every fucking thing. And I didn't have a single stress in my, like, there's more value to not being stressed and what that takes away from your life than saving $50 a month on a fucking monthly payment or 1% in fucking commission.
Right.
Like, it pisses me off so fucking much. These discount fucking brokers and lenders and banks and credit unions, like, everybody has their purpose. And don't get me wrong, there's some banks that have separate mortgage divisions that are very good and they hire very good people. But most of them, big banks, no.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Stay away. Run.
No, and probably gonna get a lot of shit
Oh, yeah.
talking shit on big banks and
Bring
credit
it.
unions, but fuck you guys, bring it.
I can attest to that. Also, yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Big
So-
fans.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. We
Is
just
that
rolled through 16 things that make a fundamental relationship.
Well,
That's-
before we go,
Yeah.
I have a little announcement.
Yes.
We hit an all-time high on your nose tonight.
Oh.
Whoop whoop. I guess I got to drink the
Drink
rest of
that.
this.
Zach, do you want to guess what the number was?
What was my highest before?
It was 28.
Oh, I'm
You
I'm
doused
in the 40s.
that.
I'm in the 40s at least.
Higher.
We also went for like
60?
an
You're at
hour,
60.
hour and a half.
Yeah, we didn't. That's the longest pod too.
And he might have counted some of my, because
He might have.
I,
No.
you know what? I
I only code Zach's. I'm very specific about this. After a
Killing
year of
me.
editing all of his videos, and I've had to hear all those I'm attacking this with prejudice.
All right. Well, I got about a shot here of whiskey.
That's good enough.
So cheers, Zach, to
Yeah,
Oh.
you know.
If anybody went to the hospital, it's not our fault.
All right, guys. Well, that is episode 5. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. See you on Thursday.
See ya.